Monday.
Yeah. I like to tender my resignation saying that this channel is going commie. We have 2 shows about commies this week. So I can see through your lies, Gerry.
I have 2 shows about
I didn't
communists
escape
today.
Venezuela to get trapped in this channel. No.
Your life sucks, Martin.
I have 2 shows
That's-
featuring communism
We're
today.
doing Red Scorpion, and we're doing Red Heat this week.
Commie propaganda.
Right?
Hey, well, I'm
It
balancing
was.
it out this afternoon, though. We're talking about the death of Stalin, so
Yeah.
such a good movie.
I've never seen it. I gotta find it.
Brilliant. Brilliant film.
Such a good event.
So I woke up at 0:30 today, and I tried to sleep, and I haven't slept, and I'm exhausted right now. I'm so frustrated. So I'm running on fumes. I will do my best. Shut up.
Oh.
Leave her alone. She had another trip to the doctor today. She gets to be a bit moody.
That is my little cat. She's getting fixed today.
Good.
So Pope is here, everybody. And silence. You were so loved, Pope.
I'm used to it.
I'm busy. Hey, what the hell? I love Bob.
Did you write him another love letter, Gerry?
No, didn't have to this time.
This is the only love letter for Pope.
I'm
Oh.
so lonely, so lonely, so lonely and sad alone. I'm
There you go.
so
Oh,
lonely.
it's on loop.
So lonely, so
I hit to turn it
lonely
off.
and sad alone.
But apparently it
The
didn't
good
take.
news is I can hear it this time. The bad news is maybe I can hear the sounds when I play them.
The good news is nobody cares.
I didn't even see it. That must be something with the iPad or something. I didn't even see it.
And for Martin's favorite video,
Skibbity, 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 spin. Stop! Hammer time!
there you go.
Luis, una chingada, vámonos, cabrón. ¡Esto es el procedimiento! ¡A la chingada el procedimiento, cabrón, vámonos!
So this was the other movie that used the Sikorsky helicopter to try to pretend it's a Hein. They did a better job with Rambo, which was done 2 years
Yes.
before this movie, where they actually did something to the cockpit. But neither film succeeded because you can still tell it's a fucking Sikorsky and not a Hein helicopter. Hein helicopters are fucking badass looking.
Yeah, they are.
It's not Hollywood's fault, though. We hadn't stolen one yet.
Well, we had what's called we had access to the Puma, which was used in another film. Let me look that up real quick. Somebody join us?
We have Double Joe.
Yeah, Joe is
Look at
having connection problems or something.
But yeah, we that's a funny story where basically Somalia bought a couple of Heinz off of the Russians, and then we came in the middle of the night and just straight up stole it like a car in the hood. Just shoved it in the back of a CH-47 and pissed off with it.
I didn't know that.
Yep, that's how we found out what the Hind could do. Is we stole one and put it through its paces.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the best. That's the best way to find out what
Mhm.
something does.
Well, I mean, so the Soviets had this nasty habit of doing stuff like that, where they would sell things to people or sell things to like rebel groups that they thought were, communist rebels. In reality, it was the CIA.
Oh,
Like they straight up sold us a bunch of T-72s. Like, how did they get their hands on it? It's like, yeah, you know that rebel group you founded in South America, like you funded in South America for a while? Yeah, that wasn't a rebel group. That was us.
Well, somebody should maybe ended up educated about that.
This is why you do background checks, people. Always make sure your terrorists are who they claim to be.
Joe, you're muted. And I cannot unmute you.
Sorry.
There you are.
Sorry.
Better.
The other thing I was using was screwing up on my end, so I went ahead and went to. They have an app, an actual StreamYards app, where you can come on as a guest, and that's what I switched to. That's why the camera's moving around. If I move my head, it's probably gonna follow it. Yeah.
Yeah, a little. Yes. Good morning, Snorty. And we have Gambit. Say hello.
Happy Monday, guys.
Yes, it's so much energy. Happy Monday.
What I was saying to Pope was, make sure you vet your terrorists. Make sure they're trained by us. That way we know they're going to turn on us. No problem.
Pretty much. We have never founded a funded a rebel or terrorist group that's actually ended up being on our side.
Right.
It's just so funny, how we made movies to make the Taliban look like good guys.
Right.
And, from Rambo 3 did it. And what was the other one that we just talked about on the channel?
Living Daylights.
Living Daylights.
Yep.
Because we talked about that on the film. And
Yep.
did not age well.
No.
Well, those aren't the same groups because the Mujahideen wasn't technically parts
the
of the
Mujahideen was kind of dissolved into the Taliban.
The funny part is it's actually on both sides of the Civil War because one group of the Mujahideen became part of the Taliban and the other part became the Northern Alliance.
Yeah. Now, Al White, that's in this movie, if you don't recognize, he plays Kalunda Kintosh, and you may recognize him from the movie Airplane as one of the jive talkers.
Oh,
yeah.
That scene was.
The I Speak Jive scene?
Yes.
Excuse me, stewardess. I speak a little jive.
Too good.
Emmanuel, give our regards to Regis. Tell him that he's been missed.
Yeah, I wonder who wrote that.
Well, I can throw that out. My ring light's in strobe mode, and I can't get it out of it over here.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Oh, this is gonna be itchy. My headphones are causing me headache.
Oh my God. So let me go into some of the stuff because a lot of people don't know this about this movie. Is that it was shot in apartheid South Africa.
Oh, careful, man. There's a beverage here.
And it got protested out the ass, this movie. And what I find interesting is Hollywood acts so superior and gets involved in these political things. I mean, you remember the whole anti-apartheid thing of Lethal Weapon 2, right? You guys remember that?
Yep.
Free South Africa, you dumb son of a bitch. You dumb son of a bitch.
Main villain is South African ambassador.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They they like to get in there and act like they're not racist, sexist, douche heads, but they're still populated by racist, sexist douche heads in Hollywood. They just like to pretend they're not. And this movie is one of those films that tried to do something with a modest budget. They had a really good crew involved with this film. I mean, number one, you had Joe Zito directing this film. And anybody who knows Joe Zito should know what he's involved with. I mean, I'm sure, right?
No clue.
You guys know
No.
who Joe Zito is?
Nope.
Not offhand, no.
Oh my goodness. He directed
Educate.
Friday the 13th,
Oh,
The Final Chapter. He did horror films all the way back to his first film. And he did Missing in Action, the first one, which I bitch about all the time as being one of the films that may have gotten MIPOWs killed. That one, Rambo 2, and well, basically all those films. We talked about one recently with Gene Hackman, about rescuing POW MIAs, and I'm like, the more attention you draw to that, really on the mass zeitgeist, it's okay if you do it here in America, but when you start releasing those movies overseas, I believe you put them in harm's way.
yeah, because most communist dictatorships are going to make sure that's no longer a problem.
Yeah.
And
Oh, well,
not
they're talking about it now, guys. We better sweep that under the carpet.
Yeah.
He
make
also
sure Germany left.
That's right. He even directed Invasion USA, which we've done on this channel too. And it's not like he's done that many films as a director. When you look, I mean, in all, he did 10 movies during his whole career. He did Abduction. It's really his first movie. And that was a Patty Hearst story that actually existed before Patty Hearst. So it's really weird, that movie. It really is weird. They directed Blood Rage, another horror film, and then The Prowler, and that was another one. And then he directed a legitimate Hollywood one called Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. And then he went into doing action movies, and he did Missing in Action, Invasion USA, Red Scorpion, Delta Force One, The Lost Patrol, that was back in 99. And then he did some movie in 2003, and he's not dead. He's still alive. But I think this movie fucked his career up. And all because of the politics. And Salon, by the way, has an article on this story. Let me go ahead and pull that up here. Oh my goodness.
Morning,
Here's
11.
the- What I despise about StreamYard is when I go to share the screen, it kicks me over to that other screen without putting this up for people to see. That is fucking stupid. So Salon is not really known for its wholesome red-blooded American articles, wrote the article, The Tale of Red Scorpion, a strange Hollywood interlude of the most scandal-ridden man in Washington. And before fallen lobbyist Jack Abramoff, I love when they criticize a lobbyist. The only reason why they don't like him, guess with that last name what he lobbied a lot. Abramoff. Anybody?
Imagine, let's see. Pro-Zionist.
Israel? Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Pro-Israel. So then they go, you lobbyist. Assumed his role as the most scrutinized man in Washington. He had a brief career in a budding Hollywood producer. He made just one movie, the 1989 Cold War bomb, Red Scorpion, which I do believe is a better film than it gets credit for. It's got heart. I happen to like the characters in it. Blatant propaganda. Look at that. its collaboration with apartheid South African government, even though the apartheid government is one of the villains in the story. Don't care about that. It's how they use their money, and it was shot in an area where people were told not to make movies there. And again, I'm going to point out Hollywood is populated by sexists, racists, horrible people, and on top of that, you know what else they're full of? Bullies. So, and that's really what ended up happening in this film. Is he got bullied, and the budget was it went into overdrive. The movie went into overdrive with its budget, and it almost doubled. So it went in the negative because they were supposed to shoot it for, as I recall, about $8 million, but it ended up going higher than that. Mostly because it was getting so costly, and Abramoff himself later criticized the film, saying that basically, I wish I had taken better control of the film and taken some of the power away from the director. It wouldn't have been so violent and gory.
So what? Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know. That's kind of what he said.
We are talking about a war movie.
Yes, but
I'm going to take the violence out of a war movie. What?
yeah.
Doesn't make no sense.
The controversy around the film was that it was distributed most widely released theatrical film. At the time, it was also one of the most controversial. It really was widely distributed. The tumult of the apartheid regime involvement hadn't died down when the film was picked up by SGE and released in April of '89. 5 protest groups picketed at the film's opening weekend in Washington, D.C. And I bet you those anti-apartheid people were just pleasant.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the protests. I bet they were just the most pleasant people. The protesters carried placards that read, "Red Scorpion, no. Freedom, yes." What does that even fucking mean? What does that even mean?
Dude, protesters just write shit. I don't even think
They say some of the dumbest
they do.
motherfucking shit I've ever seen. Some of these signs, you know, it's like a comedian once said, George Carlin once said, he says, "Have you ever noticed that all the women that protest for pro-life don't look like you want to fuck them? Have you ever seen a pro-abortion group? Yeah. I guarantee you most of them have never even had a penis."
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well, some of them do, just not in them.
Oh,
Oh,
good one. Good one, Pope. So, I'm still. This
My favorite is when
movie.
you ask these protesters why they're mad and they can't even tell you.
Yes.
So, and what's really
bold.
funny is with this one is they hurt a lot of good people by doing this. Dolph Lundgren had nothing to do with apartheid.
No.
You know,
He's just a guy doing
all
a job.
the actors.
He's
There's
just a guy trying to cash in a few years later off of the Rocky movie where he played a Russian. That's all.
Well, the fact is, you know, he wanted that career.
Yeah.
You know, he got a little taste of it when he got to be in a James Bond movie, View to a Kill. He was a Russian security officer.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, he's played Russians in at least 3 movies.
Yeah.
First, A View to a Kill. Then next, Rocky. That was Rocky 4, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rocky 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then Red Scorpion. All 3 movies he plays a Russian.
Yeah.
And something I'm going to tell you guys. He served in the elite forces, the Swedish Marine Corps, specifically their basically their version of the Marine Rangers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And,
look, you want to talk about don't judge a book by its cover. Look into Dolph Lundgren. That guy is brilliant. He is, I mean, my brother thinks he's the
got
greatest actor of all time and collects all his movies. I mean, he loves him.
He's got multiple degrees in science.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The guy is an actual scientist, unlike Bill Nye.
Right. This guy actually does it.
Yeah, doesn't he have a degree in like chemical engineering?
I've had dinner with this man many years ago. I got to have dinner with him, and I got kicked in the shin for asking him a question that I was told not to ask him. And it was too bad. He set it up because he was talking about taking acting classes, and I immediately was like, "Oh, a student of the method. Is that what you used when you made He-Man?"
Yes, Hope, you're right. It's chemical engineering. Yep. He's got a master's.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get a degree in that if you're a stupid person.
It's not just one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not just chemical engineering. He's like multiple degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think the other one is in molecular biology, and the other one is something like related to mathematics.
Studied on a Fulbright scholarship at MIT.
Yeah. So
wow,
not a
you don't get that by accident, guys. You got to be pretty smart to get that thing.
So here we go. Leonard Maltin, who is one of the most respected critics in even my opinion. I love Leonard Maltin because he's a true Hollywood historian. Gave the film a bomb rating, citing it to be a quote bottom of the barrel actioner, end quote. Kevin Thomas of the Los Angeles Times described it as quote a numbskull live-action comic book, end quote. And that's despite showing Lundgren's charisma is likely to hurt his career. Stephen Holden of the New York Times wrote that Lundgren's physique is the film's true star as it communicates more emotion than his acting. These guys are complete cunts. They're just being mean.
They're selling it to me. I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, but they're just being mean. They're catty.
Yeah.
They're being catty.
Yep.
And
because you're not a chemical engineer that's also a special forces veteran and built like a brick shit house doesn't mean you get to be jealous.
Now here we go. Noel Murray of AV Club gave a more positive review, stating that, quote, if Abramoff's intention was to make the case for military intervention in communist-controlled countries, then Red Scorpion falls well short. But if he wanted to prove that America is the world leader in awesome pop trash, then the closing credits soundtrack by itself, rock and roll and artillery fire, gunfire, sounds like mission accomplished. And I fucking listen to the credits at the end. I love that. All around the world, rock and roll is here to stay. Bum, 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 ba-dum.
We have 6 in the house.
Hey, 6.
Oh.
6.
Hi, 6.
And she comes in with a breach. Hi, 6.
Yeah.
We miss you.
All the time.
So again, I want to point out that he knows how to handle real fucking firearms because this guy was a Swedish Marine and in their elite teams. So it's fucking badass.
And having trained with those guys, they're no joke. Like these guys are good at what they do.
Okay, and for 6, we have
well, wait a minute. Gambit, you just posted this, and I just said when I got kicked under the table was I asked him if he used the method when he played He-Man. Yeah, I fucking know that. We know that.
Wait, let me run 6's video for her
super sticker.
Dragon! I want to make my career!
And she gave us a super sticker.
What is it?
That's the one for Anima because that is the rose. And of course, there's 2 for Anima because it's a rose and a black cat. There is no poop, so there's nothing for you, Gerry.
Nothing for you. Just for the channel. Thank you very much, 6.
Thank
you. Want to give her a
This is
second video?
Yeah, of course I will. We could do. Oh,
Ferocious feline, preferably with a history of mental illness. I'm talking one mean pussy. Yeah.
Yeah.
oh my
I
God!
forgot we had that one.
Nathan Lane, he's a riot.
6. Thank you very much. It's another super sticker for $10, and it's a Shiba Inu hugging a little heart.
Oh,
Oh
thank
my
you,
God!
Six.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You're awesome.
Thanks, Six.
What can we do? What can we run this time? Oh, pudding.
No, thank you, sir.
I love that movie.
Ah, that one is so gross.
That's just pudding. Snorty was
And
first in the house today, so special kudos to Snort for being first in the house today and beating Gambit.
That's
I'm pretty
not
sure
an easy
Gambit-
feat.
No,
Just
I'm
not?
pretty sure Gambit was in here days ago, but YouTube deletes everything that's not from the actual date, and sometimes even the ones from earlier that day.
So yeah, Six. That's like my favorite. Like I love the Hot Shot, the two movies, and my favorite gag in that whole film is when you think he's drinking coffee, and he's fucking drinking pudding, and he spits it. So fucked up. Oh my god, this movie. I like Red Scorpion a lot. You've got one of my favorite Blade Runner actors in it. Is Emmet Walsh is in it. He plays Dewey the reporter. You have another actor who's in this film that's in Blade Runner. Brian James is in it. He plays Sergeant Krasnov, which I got to tell you, I actually know the history of Brian James on a personal level. And he was a notorious brawler and best friends with Tim Thomerson, Doll Man.
Oh, Tim Thomerson.
That was his best friend. They served together in the U.S. Army.
Wow.
And they served Vietnam era, but they never got deployed, to my knowledge. I don't think they got deployed. But it doesn't matter. Serving during a time of war is honor enough, because it's not up to you if you get deployed or not. That's up to the Department of the Army, Marine Corps, and all that. But we have another actor in here I like a lot, is Carmen Argenziano. And the guy is a great actor. He's still with us, by the way. I don't think he's been doing anything. I think the last thing he did was like 6 years ago. But he's in some films. He's in The Accused. He plays the district attorney in the movie The Accused. He plays the defense attorney in Identity, which is a good horror film. Thriller. I shouldn't call it a horror film. It's a thriller.
Yeah. He
plays General Boone in Broken Arrow. Remember that movie?
Oh, yeah.
I love
Broken Arrow, man. That's the John Woo movie, if you ask me.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Back when John Travolta could act.
Isn't it cool?
Look, man, he did a movie that I think is his last good film. Is From Paris with Love.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I fucking love that movie. When he shoots that bitch at the table, I was like, oh my God, that was worth the price of admission, when he just fucking starts like threatening to kill people. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I love this movie. But he's been in a lot of films. I mean, that guy goes all the way back to the 70s. And we still got this guy, man. In fact, I'm going back. It looks like he goes all the way back to 1969. His first job was his character in the series Judd for the Defense, which never made sense to me as a title when I was a kid. I'm like, isn't that supposed to be Judge, Dad? He'd like, no, it's Judd for defense. And I'm like, I don't get it. I got older and I finally got, oh, they're playing on the word judge. God, he's in Monty Nash. He's in The Hot Box. Oh my God. Oh, I just talked about that film, Grave of the Vampire. He's in that one. He was on the FBI series, which, man, oh man, that show was a hit.
Yeah.
And I love that series, the FBI, which later now I have a problem because I discovered that the FBI was directly involved with producing that show. So they're always going to make the FBI look good. And anytime you see an FBI series on television, odds are the FBI is directly involved with it.
Yep.
One of the few ones I saw recently where they made the FBI look bad wasn't they weren't involved with it. I was like, holy crap, they made something that was critical of the FBI. That's hard to believe with Hollywood. But let's see who else is in this film. You got Alex.
I would say it's unusual for federal law enforcement to have propaganda made for them by Hollywood, but then again, a lot of people in Hollywood probably don't want their hard drives checked.
It's different when it's the FBI. They do. Hollywood had its fingers in Hollywood since the 40s.
I was going to say, it couldn't have anything to do with their leader being a cross-dresser at one point, right? No?
I don't know. Could have been. But I will tell you, like the Jimmy Stewart movie, produced by the FBI. FBI story. And, they're trying to, sex things up for the FBI. And Hollywood's always eager to take that government money. And but anyway, Alex
checked.
Right. Again, another character that's in this movie, actor, is Alex Cologne, and he's been in a few movies too. In fact, he's worked as the villain in Invasion USA.
Yes.
He's in the movie Deep Cover with Lawrence Fishburne. He was in the original The Taking of Pelham 123, which is a film we have to do one day.
Mm-hmm.
He was in an episode of Tales of the Gold Monkey, which, it really sucks to like films and TV shows with Stephen Collins in it. Because, if we're going to cover one of those things, we're going to have to talk about that guy. And he's one of those people that, after what he did, we need to, carve him out of getting credit for stuff because he's not a very good person. But Brian James here is a big brawler, and I was about to talk about this. He cleared the hotel bar at a Holiday Inn in Detroit, Michigan. Coked up. He was absolutely coked up out of his fucking
sounds
mind.
like the beginning of a joke, brother. Go.
He was in that movie by Sam Raimi called what was it? Crime Wave. And he got fucking coked up one night and fucking went to that hotel bar where all the cast and crew were living at the Holiday Inn, cleared that bar, and just like knocked the shit out of anybody in that bar that didn't move quick enough.
Wow.
And that's just, Brian James is a big brawler. And I'm telling you, him versus Dolph Lundgren wins.
Of course.
I love Brian James. I don't think he fucked around Dolph Lundgren because Dolph Lundgren was bad ass in real life. He was one not to be trifled with.
Even just from a physical size perspective, the guy probably hits like a freight train.
As far as Dolph Lundgren, yeah. He's a powerhouse. He is absolutely a powerhouse, knows how to throw a punch. The guy fucking nearly killed Stallone.
I was thinking to say,
he asked him
about them messing each other up. Yeah.
He asked him to hit him one time, and he tore an aorta going to his heart. Stallone ended up in the hospital over it, and they had to do surgery to save his heart. Fuck, man. Dolph Lundgren hit him that fucking hard.
And I bet he never asked anyone to do that ever again.
Stallone, I don't think he ever asked Dolph Lundgren to hit him full power.
Fair.
So
Not that I think Dolph even would have it, but like, Sly, remember what happened last time? I don't want to do that again.
Right. Come on, bro. I love you, man. I don't want to hurt you.
but you had a pretty good cast in this film, including Emmet Walsh, who's in this. He plays the crotchety old reporter, Dewey Ferguson, who hates Dolph Lundgren's character in the film, and then grows to accept him. And I don't know who this guy was that played the part of the Bushman in this, but my God, he is good. He reminds me of the Bushman from the movie The Gods Are Crazy, which is a wholly different actor, but facially he really does kind of look a little bit like him. And he's so fucking funny in this movie. He keeps calling him I am. He says, because I am, what is his name? I forgot. Nikolai. I am Nikolai. And so the Bushman thinks when he's touching his chest, that's his name is I am. So he keeps calling him I am.
Oh boy.
And at least
Using
to
it
really
to tell him what he's about to do. He says I am, and then he mimics sleeping and stuff like that. It's so weird.
Yep. So the Russians do not look like good guys in this film. So mission accomplished there.
There are the villains of the movie, so
Yeah. That and the government that's working with them.
hey, Andy.
And you have Hey Andy Moore.
Hi, Andy.
What's up?
Morning.
Well, that was the thing with anti-Soviet propaganda. You didn't have to try very hard to make the Russians look like assholes.
Not really, no. That's always
They
easy.
kind of just did that by themselves.
Still doing it.
Them,
Some things never
them
change.
and the Yazis. They are default enemies. Bad guys.
Pretty much. So if you need a default bad guy that everyone knows is the villain, stick a Russian or a German in there. They'll be fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's funny because they tried to do that with that forgettable Indiana Jones movie.
Oh God, yeah.
And it didn't work. And it's because he needs to fight one group of people. And I said, and the Yazis were still active.
Yeah.
I'm talking about German Yazis that had escaped Europe. Were still actively doing shit in the 50s. They could have easily had them as the villains trying to build the Fourth Reich.
That's still one of my favorite jokes of all time. You never ask a woman her weight, a man his salary, or an Argentinian why his grandfather speaks German.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
I have a friend that I won't say his name, but he's actually from Brazil. And when I first imagined him, I pictured him as this 5'4", dark-skinned guy, you know. And then I met him in person, and he's 6'5", blonde-haired and blue-eyed.
It's like, I wonder where your family's from.
And it's literally what happened when I met him. I said, I will say his first name, Cristiano. I said, Cristiano. And I'm looking at him and he goes, yeah, it's me. You know, and I'm like, you have Nazi blood in you, don't you? And he just started bark laughing. It was just like, he said, I get that all the time. And I'm like, it's because you talk like Arnold. And you don't look South American.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Blue eyes. I did a drawing of him because when we started working together, I started experimenting with Adobe Illustrator on creating new art in that drawing. Because I'm like, can you do it and have it look right? And it was tough. And I did like about a dozen drawings in it. And he was one of the first ones that I did. And so I still have that artwork sitting around.
It's like one of those people. It's like, so your family came over here on a boat, a U-boat, maybe?
Yeah. I'm just telling you, man. That was crazy. And it was only the first thing I learned about him that I was completely wrong about. We went to dinner at Five Points down there in Atlanta at this great place. It's still there. It's got a giant skull head for the doorway into the restaurant. Giant skull. And Zodiac or some shit like that. Anyway, it's a really good restaurant. They got Guinness on tap.
Ooh, wow. There you go.
And we're sitting there talking, and I said something extent I was getting drunk on Guinness. I said, one day you're going to have a kid and you'll understand exactly what I mean. He goes, I'm gay. And I stopped, paused for a moment, and I said, and then again, maybe not.
That's awesome.
He was such a nice guy. We're still friends to this day, despite our differing political views.
Just when people could do that, just have differing views on things and still be friendly.
Right? It's something called civil discourse. People don't do it anymore. I don't understand.
You mean stay out of people's private business and keep politics private? Yeah. Right?
Or even just have a rational disagreement. And
I was fixing to say, no, you can talk about politics and not hate each other's guts. I mean, come on, man. You can have differing opinions.
apparently not. Have you seen Twitter lately?
Yeah, I know. Everything's gotten so tribal. It's so dumb.
All right, here it is. This is my drawing of him I did. This is back in 2000.
Like you can.
Does he look Brazilian to you?
No, not really.
Blue eyes.
It's not on the stage for me. That is
I
weird.
was fixing to say I can't see it. If you guys can see it,
Yeah,
it must
there
be
it is.
Now
something
it
wrong.
is.
I can.
Now I can.
Yes.
That's him. And I drew that portrait
Very
of him
blue eyes.
in Illustrator. Yeah, he's you don't get much more blue-eyed than that.
It's like one of my favorite Hearts of Iron 4 mods, where basically it leans heavily into the conspiracy
That's
theories around the end of the war.
That's it right there. Vortex.
Yeah, and basically their leader's portrait is literally just mustache man with sunglasses. And like the tech tree goes all the way up into the 60s with like a German moon base and stuff like this. It's ridiculous. It's hilarious though.
Oh, yep, there it is. I found a photo. Thank you, Alpha, for remembering that name.
Alpha knows this shit.
I'm trying to save a picture of it without it being a WebP image.
Don't you hate that?
Good luck.
Oh.
It's just a nuisance.
It is.
It doesn't stop me.
All you have to do, it's so weird because, when I download one of those things, all I do is I just go into the file name and put at the end of it .jpg and boom, the format changes right there, bam, and I can see, I can use it. But yeah, that web file shit, it's a pain in the ass, big time.
Yep. There we go. Let me open that up real quick. Go to media. This time I'm going to just upload it. This is a great fucking place. And I loved going there. I went there a lot when I was in Georgia. This in Oh, it is. It's off the fucking wall. Fucking cool. They got Guinness on tap. And I was sold. And the two places I spent the most time going to was Vortex and Logan's Steakhouse.
Yeah. I go to Logan Steakhouse every Sunday after church here. Yep.
It was close to our apartments, and so there was hardly any time for me after work to cook a dinner for Zoe and me. So I would take us to Logan's after work, Monday through Friday. I would always stop by Logan. I'd get me a steak, and I would get her hamburger or whatever she fucking wanted.
This last Sunday, I had their mesquite grilled salmon, and it was delicious.
Salmon's tough to do, but when you do
It's
it
a
right,
good
it's
recipe.
outstanding.
Yeah, you can dry it out really fast, but they did a good job with it. It was good. All right, guys, it's a quarter till. Got to go get mama. So,
All right, buddy. I'll see you later.
you guys be good.
See you, man.
Enjoy the Dolph Lundgren Classic. We'll see you next time, guys.
Bye, Joe.
I'll see you this afternoon.
Bye, Joe.
Probably.
Yes, for sure. I'll see you. Bye.
All right,
See you, brother. So 11 Alpha, there is a theater right around the corner from Vortex where we saw a lot of live venues. And I went to see Magnetic Fields there during a live show. They put on a lot of good artists played there, that little theater. It's called 5 Points. Yeah, that's Little 5 Points. Little 5 Points. And right around the corner is that theater, and Magnetic Fields, what a great band. So let me get into some other stuff about this film. On home video, the film was released in the U.S. on VHS and Laserdisc in August of '89 through Shapiro Glickenhaus Entertainment Home Video. In '93, a budget tape of the film was released by Star Maker. The movie has had at least 2 Region 1 DVD releases. The first DVD was released in '98 by Scimitar, and the second DVD was released in '02 by 20th Century Fox. In '05, Tango Entertainment released the Universal Media disc of the film for the Sony PlayStation Portable. The 2 DVDs are now discontinued. The film has been released on Blu-ray special editions in the UK by Arrow Video back in 2012, and in the US by Synapse Films, the company I've done work for, here in the US the same year.
Did it make money with that? Because they went over budget. They had like 8 to 10 million, and they went over the same amount. They doubled it.
Yeah, they went over. It doesn't show it on Wikipedia, but the budget ended up right around $16 million for this film.
And did they say how much it grossed?
It didn't make very much money on its initial release. It only made about 4.2 million worldwide.
Ouch. That's
And it had a wide release.
Yeah, everywhere except the UK. There it went directly to video in 90.
So I'll tell you the backstory of this. The film was produced by Jack Abramoff, a Republican Party lobbyist known for promoting the Reagan Doctrine and U.S. aid to anti-communist guerrilla movements such as Jonas Savimbi's National Union for the Total Independence of Angola during the Cold War. Abramoff also established the International Freedom Foundation, financed by South African apartheid regime. When Abramoff left Citizens for America, he hired Arnie Olsen to write a screenplay modeled after the Angolan Civil War. The film allegedly received financial aid from South Africa as part of the propaganda efforts to undermine international sympathy for the African National Congress. Production began in Swaziland, but was halted by the government in September of '87 after South African agents assassinated 11 ANC members in the country. Abramoff decided to shoot the film in Namibia, which was under South African occupation as Southwest Africa. Despite filming in the country being discouraged by the Comprehensive Anti-Apartheid Act, when production resumed in '88, artists and athletes against apartheid condemned the film for breaking the international boycott against South Africa. Warner Brothers Pictures, who had a negative pickup deal to release a picture on this condition that it was not filmed in South Africa, pulled out in breach of the contract after anti-apartheid activists began picketing the studio. The Namibian, which is a magazine, by the way, reported that the South African Defense Force provided military equipment to use during production, including captured Soviet T-54 tanks, active duty South African soldiers from Operation Crowbar, also served as extras playing Soviet Army and Cuban revolutionaries. The allegation was later confirmed by the SADF spokesman in the pro-government newspaper Republikine. That's a really weird word. Filming occurred at the SADF's film studio in Windhoek and in Swakopmund. They got weird words over there. You throw two different consonants together. So it's Swako P Mund. So I don't know how that P is supposed to be pronounced. That's weird. With all the delays and production issues, the film went over budget by $8 to $10 million. Yeah. Okay. Abramoff later claimed that he did not intend the film to contain so much violence and profanity, blaming the director. He established a short-lived committee of traditional Jewish values in entertainment to release films more in line with his personal values, but later abandoned the project because it would not meet his own standards. And I will tell you that there is a Red Scorpion 2.
Yeah,
and it's completely unrelated. Yeah.
That's I find that interesting that this movie did so poorly and yet they greenlit a sequel.
Yeah, Red Scorpion 2 is a 1994 Canadian-American action film directed by Michael Kennedy, starring Matt McComb, John Savage, man, and Jennifer Rubin, and with the villain played by Michael Ironside. The film is a sequel to the '88 film Red Scorpion and is the second installment of Red Scorpion film series, although the cast is different and the story is largely unrelated. Like, how can you say that it's a sequel then?
Yeah, right. It's not.
It's like we're using the same name, but it has nothing to do with the other one.
Oh my God. I just looked, Alpha, I just looked at the burger I had the night I was out with him. It's that giant fucking bacon burger they got. Oh my God. You have like sliced whole, like, instead of little pickle rings, you had like a whole long thin slice of pickle, and they make an X with it on the burger. Oh my God, that restaurant Vortex is something else. It's still there too. Now it's funny. Anima asked me what the windscreen looking thing is over the windows and of the car, but it's also over a lot of the windows, and that's to keep you from throwing Molotov cocktails or grenades through the glass.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before, so. That's why I have less problems than you pronouncing those names. There's a lot of German and Dutch in South Africa.
Makes sense.
Oh, they have the weirdest language, but they make these clicking noises. We had an exchange student from there when I was, I think, in 6th grade, and he showed us that, and none of us could do it. It's the weirdest thing.
Well, and even the standard language down there is like a weird mix of German, English, and Dutch.
Yeah,
Oh, that's Afrikaner.
Yeah.
Afrikaans, yeah. But that's what it is. Mix of those three.
Which is funny because Dutch and German already influenced English even before.
Yeah. They're like cousins.
Pretty much.
And now they're doing the reverse apartheid, where they're attacking any whites that own farmland down there.
Yep. Doing the exact same thing Rhodesia did. And it'll probably end just about as well.
By the way, I really like this scene because he's mumbling over and over again, in Russian with dignity and honor. And he just starts punching that fucking sheet metal, the cage he's in. And I think if he wanted to, he probably could have just broke through that fucking steel.
Probably.
Yeah, he's a machine.
It just tears the door apart like the goddamn Terminator and just walks out.
I mean, he looks like a robot more than like a human.
Yeah.
Something
Actually, wasn't he in
made.
consideration to be the Terminator?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't remember that.
I thought I read that somewhere.
I do know that he sought assistance from Stallone on how to work his career getting into action movies.
Well, you would be definitely one of the better voices to talk to, given his career.
Well, it's not the only time stuff like that's happened, because again, same thing happened with Rutger Hauer, because he sought advice from Stallone, and that's how he ended up getting that movie Wanted Dead or Alive, after Stallone advised him. Another film I really liked him in was from 1990, I Come in Peace. And we need to do
Yes.
that movie because I'm a big fan of that film. Him and fucking Brian Benben in a buddy cop movie with an alien. I fucking thought that was great.
I
That
miss
sounds fun.
Hollywood being willing to do stuff like that. Of just, sure, why not? Sounds fun.
Believe that in a world?
And the crazy part is all of those wacky ideas that they used to have, those are the ones that got made. I want to see the ones that didn't. Like the ones that were so completely batshit, the execs are just like, get out of my office. And there used to be studios that specialized in that too. Like, no matter how insane your idea was, Canon Films would probably greenlight it.
Even if it costs them money.
Now, he did a Terminator type film, though. He did Universal Soldier with Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin producing and directing and writing. And I've always liked that film, Universal Soldier.
Yeah. No, the only thing that I don't like about it is the same thing I don't like about every JCVD movie, where he will find a way to be naked in it.
Yeah.
He was in another film I really liked at the time, and I'm trying to remember. Showdown in Little Tokyo.
Yep.
with Brandon Lee. And we poked fun at that on Toxic Tuesday, because that's one where she says, "That time I could hear you come." And Brandon Lee's line, "You have the biggest dick on a man I've ever seen."
Yeah, that sounds about right for Toxic Tuesday.
Yep.
Yeah. And a weird
Those
line
lines
to
are in the
say.
movie.
Yeah.
It's in the movie.
I can only imagine the reaction that got at the time. You know, sitting in the theater and see that. It's like, yeah, those are words that were just said.
And by the way, he's also in Johnny Mnemonic.
Yep.
Another cyberpunk movie with Keanu Reeves in it.
Underrated film.
I think it's an overrated in some ways and underrated in others.
Yeah, I can see that. But I've always liked it.
Yeah. I've seen it a few times. And if I've seen a movie more than once, I had to like something about it. Yeah, it served in the French Foreign Legion, Germany, and adopted children from Ethiopia and Colombia. All right, cool. And uses them now as slave labor.
Oh.
No one's supposed to know that, Gerry. Shut up.
Like, Gerry would be the guy to like adopt a bunch of children from China just so he can create his own sweatshop.
Yeah. But they're my children, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't count. I don't have to pay.
Fair.
It's a family business.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it's a family business. Labor laws don't apply to me.
What are you guys, Ferengi? Jesus.
Yeah, and this is a fucked up thing to say here because when he leaves him, he says, we'll get you washed up and release you. And then the next thing, the Cubans come in and start torturing him. And I'm like, oh man, you fucking lied to him. He thought he was going to get a bath.
What?
Yeah.
Comey's lying? No.
Cubans torturing people? They don't do that.
And I do like the basic premise of this is that he's assigned to infiltrate and then assassinate the leader of the resistance. And he fails to do it. And because he failed, the communists give him up. He's no longer Spetsnaz. And
I am Spetsnaz.
I am
just not one of yours.
Yeah, that's his whole existence. So they're basically killing him by taking that from him. I like when he breaks the chains. He's a beast.
And Dolph is one of the guys you could believe could actually do that. Like, that's not a prop. He just tore those chains in half.
Yeah, right. Look at him, how big he is.
And by the way, I just found out that Joseph Zito, the director of this film, is currently or was producing the Medina TV series in the Middle East.
Huh.
Don't know
That's
that
kind of
one.
neat. Never heard of it.
Nope.
Neither have I.
Yeah, it's another one of those over the top but fun movies that I just get a kick out of. Not a great film, but it's a great bad film.
It's like, and movies don't need to be, deep or, have these big messages. Sometimes movies are just supposed to be fun.
Yeah. Check your bread at the door. Enjoy the movie. Eat some popcorn.
That may be a problem sometimes.
By the way, I saw Mark sent me some stuff about that new TV series Duster, which I've opted out. I'm done. I couldn't take the stupidity anymore. J.J. Abrams, fucking idiot.
Yeah. It's to the point where if I see his name on a project, I'm just instantly a no.
Well, the thing that bugs me about the show is it's an interesting premise, but he cannot show racism or sexism in the 70s without making the person who's being sexist racist to be a bad guy, not because of the fact that might be the culture of that area. That he can't be somebody that learns. He has to be beat you over the head piece of shit. And so you got people working within the FBI in this show that are just fucking belligerent, racist, belligerent, fucking sexist in it. And it's just like, give me a fucking break, man. He doesn't know how to write nuance at all. He's a terrible writer. Yeah, there you go. The dude with the mustache. Two of the bad guys in this were also in Invasion USA. My favorite was the one that was torturing him there, because he was the main villain in Invasion USA. And I got to tell you what, for the 80s, that was pretty cool. The needle, sticking the needle into him.
Yep.
I don't know how they pulled that off. I got to be honest.
That looked pretty real, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Invasion USA was another one of those canon movies that it wasn't great, but it was fun.
Oh, yeah. Invasion USA. We covered it a few months back. I enjoy the crap out of that movie. It's just so much fucking fun.
It's a similar thing with Red Dawn. Is it a realistic movie? Absolutely not. Is it fun to watch? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what was the other name? Dark Angel. That was the other name for I Come in Peace. Because when I rented it on home video and thought it was called I Come in Peace. I come in peace and you go in pieces. Tonight on the Kmart Blue Light Special, Dolph Lundgren.
Also, that phrase is a very, very good reason never to name your daughter Peace.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, God. Bad Pope.
And by the way, talking about Africa is, and I do believe they were Dutch, the Boers.
Yes.
Because the British had 2 fucking wars with them.
Yeah, I mean, they did not give up easy.
Nope. Here he is, the Bushman. This guy is so good in this movie.
He's funny. I love the scene later when he's making fun of Dolph's hunting skills, and then the boar turns around and charges at him, and he just spears him in the head. That impressed the little guy.
Yeah, you can't. He's mockingly laughing at him because he can't get the fruit out of that fucking tree.
That's a very unfriendly tree with all the thorns and shit.
Yeah, crazy fucking cross thorns. Like Michael Bauer. I'm going to be watching a film with him this week with the guy I went to high school with, Judge Reinhold, called Running Scared. Came out in 1980. Not to be mistaken with Running Scared with Gregory Hines and oh my God, I just forgot his name.
There's one with Paul Walker in it that's like that. But I don't know if that's the one you're talking about.
Let me.
Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
It's apparently two totally different films, and so Mark sent it to me to watch. Like, okay, I will check out this movie.
Yeah, the Paul Walker one was really good. I actually liked it quite a bit.
What one?
There was a movie called Running Scared that I think it went straight to DVD, but starred Paul Walker. That was actually very good. It's one of those movies where you go through the plot and then, at the end you realize you've been lied to for the last 2 hours and it was sitting right in front of you the whole time.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Got Chaz Palminteri in it. Vera Farmiga is in it. What's funny about Vera is that she has Thaisa Farmiga.
Thaisa, yes.
And everybody thinks that it's a mother-daughter relationship. No, they're siblings.
Yeah.
She's just a lot older than her sister. And the funny part is in the Nun series of films, and the first one she plays like the younger version or something of her. It's really weird. That's a weird movie. I didn't enjoy it. Wait a minute. What? There's a documentary of canon films where every actor and miscellaneous crew talk about them on degrading terms. Like they're speaking degradingly of canon films or talking about how canon films treated them in a degrading fashion. I'm not sure what that sentence means. Hey, I'll tell you what, with this Bushman, red, white, and blue, man, all the way.
Mm-hmm.
His headbands, red, white, and blue.
I like that he makes him shoes.
Sandals, yeah, he makes those.
Yeah.
When he wakes up, he gives him those sandals. Because he's really struggling out there.
Well, who wouldn't be? It's the fucking desert.
Yeah,
And he doesn't
sub-Saharan
have shoes.
Africa is not a easy place to survive in.
You definitely want shoes there.
Yes.
Yeah, they're known for having pointy, sharp rocks.
Well, there's also animals with pointy, sharp ends that can sting you.
You mean
Shit.
scorpions?
Yeah.
Red scorpions?
Any scorpion. He looks like an action figure come to life. Not
Pretty
like
much.
a human. I can't get over that.
His
Well,
physique is so action figure like. I agree.
That's what would have made him such a good Terminator. Is he just looks like he was assembled in a factory somewhere.
And he pulls off the whole emotionless part. Emotionless
Yeah.
killing machine. Because it's almost towards the end of the movie when you see him crack a smile. And then he looks
Yeah.
human. Up until then, he's like an action figure that somebody brought to life.
Well, especially in Rocky 4 when he's just towering over Stallone, just I must break you.
I don't think I've seen that one yet.
Oh, brilliant movie. I love it. My favorite out of the Rocky movies.
I think is the one with the best training montage of all.
Yep.
Because you gotta have a montage. Okay, there's some clarification from Gambit. Yeah, they're talking about how badly the Canon films treated them. Oh,
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I am not surprised to hear that.
I,
That
we
Gauntlet
did
robots.
we did talk about that when we covered King Solomon's Mines on 70s Rockman's channel, and yeah, the production on that one was not great
dude, he
in terms
said
of living
on
conditions.
King Solomon's Mines, Sharon
Yeah.
Stone was put in a boiler full of piss. What the hell? You know, because other had piss on it beforehand. God damn.
Yeah, that does not surprise me.
I bet that smelled nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oops. Team America.
Really, does he?
I'm looking for that.
Yeah, me too.
Sebastian Blomberg. Okay.
Oh my god. Yeah, he's right.
What?
He's
Yes,
absolutely
yes,
right.
look.
He does.
I gotta share that.
Oh my god. Can you pull up the
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
sure, please.
I cannot
Pull up that
believe
picture.
it. I can't believe Okay. Let me
Oh, it's his
this one?
fucking. It's his 5 o'clock shadow. Makes
Yeah.
him look like a fucking doll. Yeah.
God damn.
Oh my god. Even
Look at
without
Really
it.
does.
Bakalaka Street.
Yeah.
That is
Isaac.
almost disturbing how much that's accurate.
Yeah.
Oh my. Hey,
Thank you for
Sax.
giving us that laugh, Alpha.
Hey, Kyle.
He was running from something, sir. And then he crashed into a DUI checkpoint, committed 10 felonies, and not to mention FUing a room full of cops.
You FU me all the time.
Fuck you, Kyle!
My only question with that scene is, how did she know what I get up to on Saturdays?
That's the amazing talent of Aquafina. Every girl wants to be her. Every guy wants to bang her.
Yeah, no.
And
What happened to her career, by the way?
Well, she sang on camera, and that was really what killed her career.
Ouch.
Hey, Real Weight is watching us Rumble.
Hey,
No way.
There's the helicopter.
Yeah, that doesn't look like a hind. That looks like a fucking box car.
yeah, I mean, it's clearly a Sikorsky that somebody just strapped a couple of rocket pods from a Russian helicopter to.
Nah, I got a joke about that, but I press say when the show is over. Privately.
Coward.
What's that?
Oh, I got a joke about that chopper, but I don't want us to get even more hated by YouTube, so I'll tell it later.
It's just
They didn't even really try.
look at those fucking wheel wells
Yeah.
sticking out.
Like you say, at least in Rambo 3, they tried to make it look like a Heinz.
Well, not knowing helicopters much, it still looks pretty badass.
Oh, it looks like a good chopper. It's just once you know military equipment, it's like that's not what that is.
Well, I mean, budget
True.
constraints.
Which apparently was already a major problem for this movie.
Look, we can have the helicopter better made, or we can have the Bushman, but not both of them.
Fair.
This is my favorite part of the film, is the relationship between these two.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
one of
that's
the main draws.
Yeah. And you're not there for very long, and it takes you forever to get to it. Rambo.
Yeah, they
It's
at
the
least
same-
tried for that.
It's a Sikorsky, but that one looks so much better.
Yeah.
That's the hunting scene that I meant.
Yep.
The Bushman is always making fun of him. I like that. And there's his smile, finally.
I did appreciate that there was no love story to this.
Yeah, it was kind of just unnecessary.
I know that voice.
Yes. Rocket Kitty has joined me. I tricked her today because when it was time to go to the vet, she was already in her box sleeping, and I just had to close the door. She got angry.
By the way, we brought up Johnny Mnemonic a little bit ago, and I got to point out what Roger Ebert said about that movie, because Roger Ebert's such a fucking ass. Roger Ebert said, Johnny Mnemonic is one of the great gestures of recent cinema, a movie which doesn't deserve 1 nanosecond of serious analysis. Yeah, if it didn't have lesbians as the main characters, he didn't like it.
Yeah, Siskel and Ebert were certainly opinionated on certain things.
I always considered Gene Siskel the better critic of the two.
Well, he kind of was, but either one of them, like if they hated a movie, that probably meant it was good.
Hank, they would absolutely ruin a movie's chances if they gave really scathing reviews.
Ruin it, Brian.
And well, even nowadays, you see it with some of these, reviewers of like, this is a horrible, sexist, misogynist thing, and I'm just sitting there like, I was already going to see it. You don't have to sell it to me.
There's the Scorpio.
Yep.
It's so stupid when they call it a tattoo. It's not a tattoo, it's scars.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could say that. Mandalorian borrow a lot from this movie. Mandalorian, no, Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
I haven't watched that, so
No, don't
I
watch
think
it.
one
please.
episode. I think
Save
one
your
or two
eyes.
episodes when we did Mandalorian.
Okay, The Mandalorian at least started with potential.
Yeah, but then they
Season 1 and
destroyed it.
season 2 were pretty good.
Yeah, but then it lost me.
Kathleen Kennedy put Favreau's name on it while Favreau was actually working on other stuff. Had her Star Wars writing team go in and rework the scripts and have John Favreau come in there and do his pissing on it too, and ruined the series, completely destroyed it.
Ruin.
And then Book of Boba Fett was just no.
No. Oh my God, no.
All right, this is the one that I mentioned before, the Puma, and 11 Alpha just talked about.
Yep.
Beautiful machine.
Yeah.
It's a nice looking aircraft. Too bad it's French. It's like the evil ones have been here. Well, there is a Russian standing right next to you, so yes.
Yeah.
What you don't know, Paul, is this guy is the guy that trained the little guy in Ace Ventura 2. So he's not afraid of Dolph.
That journalist is a funny character.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised at him, where basically, anytime you see a journalist in an action movie, they're usually just a complete douchebag. But this guy is actually a likable character.
He is there for comic relief, but not in a bad way.
Yeah, because he acts like he's such a badass and can kick Dolph Lundgren's ass. It's like, dude, you couldn't wipe the sweat off his forehead.
What is he dying from? I forgot.
I don't know that they ever say, actually. At least if they do, I don't remember.
Yeah, I've just seen this and I don't remember. He's dying anyway.
Oh my God. Apparently, Aquafina is in Poker Face season 2.
No.
I couldn't watch season 1. I'm not about to watch fucking season 2.
So it was bad without her, and now she's joining?
Yeah,
Sounds awesome.
She's in an episode of Black Mirror, which I'm not even going to watch this new season. I couldn't care less about it.
The first couple seasons are interesting, but
Season 1 and 2, it started going downhill from there. Lost my interest. When they fucked up, you fuck up a simple story like the Star Trek guy that creates a micro universe on a computer using DNA, somehow creating avatars off of the real people using their DNA. First of all, that's fucking weird and stupid. It's unnecessary. But the reason they're doing it is to make it sound like they're making real people into these avatars. I'm like, no, it's digital. It's not real. And so because he gets bullied in the real world, okay, and goes and creates a fictional world with avatars so he could bully them back to feel better. That makes him a bad guy. And they can do what they did to him, or they put him in a coma. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking shitty writing.
Yeah, and it's a shame too, because that show had the potential to be like a new Twilight Zone.
Yep. Yeah, they lost me with that one. And people who tell me that they like that, I'm like, so you think that works as a storyline? That the guy that's being bullied in the real world
He's not being bullied.
He was bullied. He's a nerd.
In the past, not in the.
Yeah, that's how he became the way he is.
Exactly.
And he doesn't. He's not mean to
son of a bitch.
He's not mean to anybody in the real world, but he creates this fictional world where he can do that, where he can feel better about himself, and that makes him a bad guy. That takes a real fucking leap of logic. That takes a leap of fucking logic. Like Evil Knievel level shit. Snake Canyon type leap.
We're not having this fight again.
Shut up, Martin. That's Martin with hair.
You're never going to lose that one, right?
With hair and
Father Weems loves that photo.
And a lot less of fatness and wrinkles and gray hair. Oh my god.
Sounds like you're old, Martin.
Maybe.
There's those vehicles with screens on them.
Yep.
I mean, that's basically what the slat armor was doing when they invented that over there in Iraq with the strikers.
Yeah, that was basically just to, detonate RPGs away from the armor.
Yep.
Unfortunately, didn't do a lot against IEDs.
The second
big recoilless rifle
vehicle. Yeah, the next vehicle after the Striker, I forget its classification, was designed specifically also to not be impacted by IEDs.
Yeah, well, there was like 4 different ones of like 4 different variants of MRAP that we used to use. And now I think we use the MATV. And I love how they just have a random T-34 there for no reason.
God damn.
That's a big gun. I want it.
Yeah, they do that a lot, putting the homoerotic stuff into soldier stuff. It's like, yeah. Look, I'm going to tell you something. Soldiers act gay enough to begin with. They don't need that.
Take it from the Marine. We are the gayest straight men on the planet. Never, ever play gay chicken with Marines.
Oh.
I mean, you only hear of towel fights.
Yeah.
In gay porn. No, we have them in the Army too. In the military. Oh, looks like we lost Martin. Here, I'll throw him back up on screen so everybody doesn't miss him.
That's so sweet of you. Third world internet.
Although I tell you, they never wanted to towel fight me again after I was in my first towel fight, because I was sat there while they're not paying attention. I'm taking a corner of that towel, putting it in my mouth, and I'm pulling on it, spreading it, and getting it really wet. Because I knew that if they brought that towel fight to me, I took skin off with mine. Mine was like a little cat o' nine tails. I would just whip and pull right at that last second. It would snag skin and just tear it. And
I
nobody
don't
fucking
want to
wanted
know.
it. Nobody
I don't
wanted to
want to know
fucking
what
have
you're
a
talking about.
towel fights, man. Don't you like towel fights? Everybody likes towel fights.
And yes, the seals I serve with are just as bad, if not worse, than we are.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day because they had one of those in the movie with Gene
Uncommon
Hackman.
Valor.
Yeah, Uncommon Valor. What I love about this is it looks like it's actually it looks like a BAR with the mount on top.
Yeah,
And
I think it's some sort of variant of the FAL.
but on it's got a drum on top, but it also has a magazine below.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
these weird
And 2
qualified.
barrels.
It's like they mashed together an FAL, a Lewis gun, and a BAR all in one.
That guy reminds me of Michael Ironside.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, have I not? Yeah. A SEAL medic would walk into the showers and grab his ball. Oh my god.
Yes,
To the ball watchers.
many such cases.
I'm trying to find what that weapon is supposed to be, and I'm having trouble finding it.
It's
I'm on.
probably a.
Oh, there I found it. There I found it. Yeah, there it is. I'm not even going to try to fucking pronounce that. I'll put it in the private chat. You want to see the way it's pronounced? There it is.
Oh, it's a Degtyarev. Okay.
It's like doing some sort of experimental version of that weapon, and it's a top-loaded drum machine gun.
Okay. So they're supposed. It's supposed to be a DP. It is not that.
Degtyarev machine gun.
And by the way, I want to point out that when he's using it, when they are using it in the movie, it has this building up mechanical sound.
Yeah.
He's got a motor in it, and I'm like, "What's the motor for?"
But that's a common Hollywood trope of I'm not entirely sure they actually know how guns work.
I can't find a better photo.
I mean, if they don't have an advisor, they probably just go for what looks cool.
Pretty much.
Or they think looks cool.
I'm going to bet basically Dolph Lundgren was his own technical advisor. I was a soldier. I know how to do this.
Yeah. Very likely.
I could easily imagine him pulling a Christopher Lee on that one.
Yeah.
That is not how that sounds.
I think they made that fake gun for him because oh it was
It
ended.
ended. That's why I pulled it.
Okay. Because in every other gun in his hand looks ridiculously small. When he's holding that shotgun before beginning the revolution, it looks like he's holding a toothpick.
Yeah.
Anything. It's
How
so
tall is the
dude,
guy?
they have to
He's
say
like
no.
6'5". Like Dolph Lundgren, even in real life, is like 6'4", 6'5", which is why you
Big
could.
dude.
Which is why, like, there's a scene in the beginning of it where he's holding an AK and it looks like a toy.
In fact, when he's in Punisher and he's riding on that bike, he looks like a kid in a tricycle.
Yeah,
And that is not a small bike.
He is 6'5". Yeah. Holy shit.
and
That's
like
giant.
I know the scene you're talking about, Martin, and he literally looks like a guy trying to ride his kid's bike.
Yes.
It's almost like I remember, I think it was the second GI Joe movie. Like, there's a scene where the Rock is holding a M249, and it looks like a normal sized rifle in his hands.
that is why it was so easy for him in that movie with Brandon Lee to jump the car that is coming uh, to roll them over, because man, that is a Ferrari. That car is almost the roof of that car is almost at the height of his knees.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, I again got to give him so much credit. He is a serious martial artist in real life. Dolph
Yeah.
Lundgren. He's been studying martial arts since he was 16.
So, for multiple
Speaking
reasons.
of Sweden,
really
did
not the
anyone
guy you want to fuck with.
in Sabaton ever actually serve in the Swedish Armed Forces?
No.
I don't even. What is Sabaton? I don't know what's that.
One of my favorite bands.
Black metal band.
No, they're not black metal, they're power. But in fact, I'm wearing the shirt, which is probably why I brought it up. These guys.
Yeah.
But they never served. A lot of guys didn't really believe in it, and also they were, trying to be musicians, so they didn't really care about being able to vote and stuff like that. So I don't think any of them ever actually served. And Joachim is half Czech, I think. So I'm not sure which country he's a citizen of. But Sweden actually has some really interesting military stuff. Like, Gerry, you've probably seen it. Well, you were in service. Remember that turretless tank that they have?
The what?
The Swedes had this thing, the Stridsvagn 103. It looks like a tank destroyer, but they call it a turretless tank. It's a really interesting thing where basically they aim and elevate the gun using the hydraulic suspension. It's just hard mounted into the hull.
Wow.
The thing looks like a cheese wedge with tracks on it. It's awesome.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a weird freaking vehicle, and I love it. Because it's typically Swedish, of just like, it's just like everything else, but autistic.
I could tell it was Swedish because it was so sexually progressive.
Jesus.
Oh my.
I already had a headache before we started the show, Gerry. You didn't have to make that worse.
But yeah, the
Yeah,
Swedish
how can that be
military
called a tank? Because it's like it's wherever the front of the machine is pointing is where it fires.
Yeah, but they call it a tank, and it was fully functional. And the idea behind this thing was basically like Sweden has a lot of territory that there's very small little hills and stuff in. So they would dig this thing into the backside of a hill, so just the barrels pointing over it. And if the Soviets ever invaded, they would just use that to kill as many tanks as they could. And it's also just as fast going backwards as it is forwards. They have a second driver. So basically, as soon as the autoloader runs out of rounds, they'll just take off out of whatever position they're in, fall back like, a mile or two, and then do it again. It was a really crazy idea, but it worked.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. What a fascinating design.
Yeah, it's a weird.
This looks like something, because my dad, was a designer, and he has patents that are in Washington for shit that he designed. And my childhood was full of him drawing tanks, his ideas of what would make a good tank. And this really reminds me of one of his designs.
Yeah, it's one of those designs that I think could only have been approved by a country like Sweden, where it's not a bad design, it's just weird. It's like, whereas an English or American designer would take one look at that thing and go,
yeah, it's like there's no turret on top. Instead, the cannon is built into the main body, sticking out of the front. It's like,
meanwhile, an American designer would take a look at that and just go, yeah, I could do that, but why would I?
It looks like it's called Stridsvagen.
Yeah, the Stridsvagen 103. It's a weird little design, but it was really cool.
It's funky, dude. It really is. I'd like to see how it works.
I mean, I've actually seen one driving. Apparently, like, to turn the gun, you just rotate the tracks. Like, the gunner also has the tiller.
Well, that's the way it looks to me. It looks like a tank destroyer.
Like we said, that's what we said, and apparently the Swedes get really angry when we say that. It's like, it's not a tank. It is a tank. It's not a tank destroyer. It's a tank. Like,
let me guess. So you just kept saying it?
Yeah, of course.
It's a tank, but it doesn't have a turret. It's a tank. All right. Hey, guys, it's a tank.
It's like, if you say so.
Wink, wink.
We believe you. Yeah, it's a very interesting design. And apparently it has a hydraulic suspension, so it can elevate and lower the gun. It's a very interesting design. It also has a bulldozer on the front of it, so it can dig its own fighting position.
Yep.
That's cool.
It's like, when you think about it, it works, and it actually works very well for what it's designed to do. It's just a weird design.
Well, it's not an assault design; it's a defense design.
Yeah, I mean, and for the assault, vehicles, they had British Centurions, and then the Leopard 2.
Mm.
Yep. Yeah, it's a very interesting vehicle where it's just like, it's the only one of its kind I've ever even seen. Because, like, they were right, it looks like a Hetzer or some other kind of German World War II tank destroyer, but the gun is completely hard mounted. It's not an encasement.
Okay, you've been talking about that thing and haven't shown it. Give us a picture or something.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find a picture of it.
I don't want to. Here. There you go.
Oh, you got it? Oh, yeah. There it is. It's an odd little duck.
Yes,
and they say that's not a tank? That's weird.
It's a they say it's a tank.
It
like,
doesn't have a turret. It is not a tank.
Like I think 11 Alpha said, Stridsvagen just means tank. But yes, it is. It doesn't look like a tank, but it is.
No, it doesn't have a turret.
Yeah,
Apparently that's not a part of the definition.
we don't want to piss off the Swedes.
Well, there's at least one Swede in this world I don't want to piss off, and he was the star of this movie.
That is an autocannon. Man, that looks like it's taken straight out of BattleTech.
It does, doesn't it? Like it looks
The
like something.
German word for it is Streitwagen, apparently, and that's just combat vehicle. That doesn't mean tank. It means just a vehicle used in combat. Like what the Romans would drive.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
I just, all of a sudden, it's like, we should just go ahead and call the Striker a tank.
Well, I mean, technically, there was a version that had a 105 in it.
It had a mounted turret too.
Yeah.
So it could be called a tank.
No, I mean, by that definition, a Bradley's a tank. It's just not a very
Take
good
that
one.
back. You take that back.
Oh, there's a good shot of it.
Yep.
No fighting in class, boys.
There you go. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, the first time I saw that thing driving, I was just like, what the hell is that? But yeah, the Swedes just don't think like the rest of us.
Panzerkampfwagen was the German term for tank.
Yeah.
We just say Panzer. Nobody says Panzerkampfwagen. It's just Panzer.
That's
we have
in
enough
Austria.
complicated
in
words.
Germany. In Germany, they say the whole thing.
No, they don't. German has enough fucked up long words, so we abbreviate if we can.
Speaking of fucked up long words, I guess it's time to end the show.
Little early, but yeah, we can get out of here.
Snorty, Gambit, Emmanuel, Penny, 11 Alpha, Eli Cortez, 6, Andy Morrow, Zax, and Wade were all here. It's good to see everybody today. I'm out of it today, man. I'm just out of it. I have my brain doesn't even want to work. So I apologize. I still got into some trivia, so it's okay. But we're gonna get out of here, guys. Joe was here, and of course, Pope Metallicus made it. We didn't even expect you. It's like, oh, there's a surprise. I don't know when you're gonna jump in. I really don't. I have no clue.
But we love when you do.
Sometimes I'm busy on Mondays. Sometimes I'm not.
It was good to see you, man.
Always good to be here.
And then, of course, Anima and Martin are always here. It's good when you guys here. And guys, we're going to get the hell out of here. I hope everybody has a good start to a new week. Started off good by watching some anti-commie films, anti-commie movies. So that's how I like to start my week. So we are out of here, guys. Everybody have a good Monday, and we'll see you again Wednesday. Don't forget, tomorrow you've got the Chief. What's he doing tomorrow?
The Order from 2024 with Jude Law and Nicholas Hoult. I don't know. The movie's good, but then they throw a line of text at the end of it and make it's a propaganda movie. They're saying that the J6ers are terrorists, basically.
Oh, then I have no interest in it. All right. Well, we're out of here, guys. Bye, everybody.
Catch you next time.
Yeah.